Alright guys, in today's video what I wanted to do is I wanted to take all the top questions that I saw, around the web from Facebook groups that I'm in for the Oculus Quest 2 and everything I've seen on the internet and kind of gather those into one video and kind of answer all those questions for you guys in regards to Oculus Quest 1 users who are looking to upgrade into the Oculus Quest 2, and I wanted to know different answers and different questions and things. So this is what this video is about. I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, is the gaming techie.
So the first thing we're going to start talking about is the spec difference between the Oculus Quest 2 and the Oculus Quest 1. So first thing is the higher resolution display. It is now 1832 by 1920 pixels, so 50% increase in that. So you guys are going to see a 50% increase on each eye, so you're going to get higher pixels, higher resolution when you're actually playing through your games and stuff. So that is the first thing. And it is now an LCD panel for those lenses instead of OLED. So another thing to keep in mind as well. So if you guys were fans of OLED, it is now using an LCD panel. So it's a one single panel display as opposed to two using OLED from the original one. So the black levels might be a little bit less than what you guys are used to on the OLED panels on the first one. And now the biggest thing it's using is the XR2 chip. So the XR2 chip now has 6 gigabytes of RAM instead of 4 gigabytes of RAM of the original. But the XR2 chip is a really big deal because even when you factor in the higher resolution that this has to run due to the 50% increase in pixels, the GPU inside is still 33% more, 33% more better than the original one regardless. So that's going to go obviously into games looking better. And we're already seeing that with one of the updates that one of the games already came out with, which is Red Matter, where they removed the foveated rendering on the game, and that's those when you look around the edges of your screen with your eyes, how you saw that it was blurry and stuff. That's been removed for using that trick. And also they're actually using high resolution textures because of that increase in GPU power that they now have access to. So games are definitely going to start looking better and better when they start upgrading these games and stuff. So that's exciting. Of a future when these games keep getting updated and they're going to start looking better on the Oculus Quest 2 instead of the Oculus Quest 1 due to that increase in the XR2 chip that's giving us. One of the other things that has changed on here, and these are now 90 hertz panels that they're going to be using on here. So as soon as Oculus its developers use these 90 hertz, we're going to get the increase of 72 hertz that it used to be on the original Quest to now being 90 hertz on this one. So that's going to be better for people who are more prone to being motion sickness and stuff, because the higher you can go with the hertz, the higher, the better comfortability it is for people. So that's good news there. And also it is 10% lighter. So you're all going to notice that it's a little bit lighter and a little bit smaller than the original one as well. So that may help with, the balancing of the headset and stuff, but it's 10% smaller and 10% lighter. Moving on to the second question I hear a lot is, can this play PCVR games? And the answer is yes. You can connect a link cable, either the official Oculus one, or there are some third-party ones that you can now use. Just make sure it's long enough for you to be able to move around. And you can play PCVR game as long as you have a PC, of course, that is compatible with it and powerful enough. You can connect that link cable from the Oculus Quest to your PC and play PCVR games on your Oculus Quest 2 with the higher fidelity and the higher resolution. It is almost as good as playing natively, but you are going to notice that there is some, it's not as good just because it's running through, that single cable. So it's not going to be as good as if you're using like a Rift S on the PC. But for most people, they're not going to notice and they're not going to care. So that is something that's really, really cool that you're going to be able to use. And it's actually being upgraded to support the 90 hertz on the Oculus Quest 2. So that's good news as well with the link cable. So exciting stuff there. The third question we get here a lot also that we're going to go over is, does the Quest 2 have adjustable IPD? So it does have an adjustable IPD, but it's done a little bit differently. So on the Oculus Quest original, we remember that we had that IPD slider where you can move it around to exactly which IPD you wanted. On the Oculus Quest 2, being that it's now an LCD panel, it's a single panel display, they couldn't do that. So what they did is instead have 3 different slots. So there's a 1, a 2, and a 3. The first one is 58 millimeters, the second one is 63 millimeters, and the third one is 68 millimeters. So that is the IPD range, and that's the number you would put it on and it's actually physically, you have to physically move the actual lenses apart. So it's not a slider like it was, but actually moving them physically into those designated 1, 2, 3 slots. Now, it should still cover a majority of people, just because, for example, if you're 69 or 70, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to use this headset, because usually people who are within like 2 or 3 of the number. So if you're a 70, 68 might be fine for you. If you're a 65, 63 should be fine for you. And if you're 57 or 56 or 58 should be fine for you. So it's something that you're definitely going to have to try, but it should still be fine regardless, on that being the case. It's something you may have to try, but like I said, it should cover a nice range of people. It's just a different way of doing it than the Oculus Quest 1, but most of us should still be fine with the way that they're doing the IPD slider on here. Now, the next question a lot of people talk about is the Oculus Quest 2 strap design. As you can see, it kind of reminds us of the Oculus Go strap, with it being like the cloth material. It's definitely going to be an issue for most people if you're playing prolonged uses with the headset of more than like 30 minutes. It's not going to be comfortable. It's something you're definitely going to want to replace based on all the early reviews, and luckily Oculus did come out with something to upgrade it to. And the first one you can get is $49. It's called the Pro Strap, and it has like the thing you can tighten on the strap, much more comfortable. And then they also have the one that costs $129 that actually has the battery strapped in the back. And it's definitely something that is recommended from all the reviewers who have it already to upgrade to early. So definitely take a look for that. The next thing we want to talk about is the audio solution in the Oculus Quest 2. So there is only one port now, the 3.5 millimeter jack on the side. There used to be 2 on the original. There is now only one for you to be able to connect to whatever audio solution you were using before. It will still work. Headphones or headset, whatever you want to use, will still work. But Oculus now partnered with Logitech, and they actually have their own solutions. They have the first one that's like earbuds that plugs in on the side, that's specifically designed for the Quest 2, or the Pro model that is the over-the-ear headphones that you're looking at and here, and that will actually be the Logitech G Pro, and you'll be able to get, enclosed ear and a shorter cable that will plug right into the side, and get you that more comfortable solution and better audio quality, because as we know, the Quest 2 only has the same audio as the first one, which is just the one that's piped through the side. That's, in my opinion, not very good, especially when you play music games like Beat Saber and stuff. The next question that a lot of people ask about is, are the touch controllers any different, and will they fit with my original stuff? So the Oculus Quest controllers, the second ones, are slightly bulkier. They are going to have better haptics, so it's going to vibrate better in games. It's going to be stronger. So it is going to be a little bit different. So they might not fit exactly on all the things that you were using before. I heard the Mammoth stuff you can actually get them to fit. But like I said, they're a little bit bulkier, so it's something that you're going to have to try with the different accessories that you were using before. And one of the things that they did fix that was really important for people is the battery door. The battery door issue on those controllers was something that people complained about a lot, that if they were playing games like Beat Saber on Expert, the battery door will come flying off. So that's actually been fixed, which is good. So we're not going to have issues with that anymore. It's a lot stronger, and it won't actually come off anywhere near as easily as they used to. So that's a good thing for all of us. The next question I get a lot with this is the FOV the same on the Quest 1 as it is on the Quest 2? So the FOV is actually going to be the same on both the Quest 1 and Quest 2. It's going to be about 90. So it stayed the same on both. So you're not going to see any increase in the FOV. So that is exactly the same. The next question, of course, that I also get is in regards to lenses. The people who bought, the prescription lenses like the Winmo VR lenses or the VR Optician lenses like I have and stuff, will they still work on the Oculus Quest 2? They will still work. The lenses are exactly the same, which is good. So we're not going to have any issues with the Oculus lenses. Because they are exactly the same on both, so you will be able to fit your prescription lenses on there. So you don't have to buy new ones, so that is good news for all our pockets. The next question that's really popular is, will the Quest 1 games work on Quest 2? And yes, the Quest 1 games will all work. It's the same store, same everything, so they are going to work. However, they are going to look better on the Oculus Quest 2. There's already been an update on a game called Red Matter on the Oculus Quest 2 that's already taking advantage of the processor. And as you can see here on the original Quest on what it looks like with the resolution there, you can see on the Quest 2 that it's actually using higher resolution textures on the Oculus Quest 2. So we're going to definitely see higher resolution textures, better lighting and stuff like that when it comes to games when they're being ported over to the Quest 2. So even though all your original games from the Quest 1 will always work on the Quest 2, it's going to look slightly better based on, the developers improving their games and stuff. Something to mention, though, is that even though that's true, they did say that the games that are going to come out in the future are still going to work on the Quest 1 for the time being. So there will possibly come a point a year from now or a year and a half from now where they're not going to work anymore, and they're going to be designing Quest 2 specific games to take advantage even more of that extra GPU and processing power. So that's definitely something to look at. Something else we need to talk about as well is the fact that you now need to use a Facebook account when it comes to using the Oculus Quest 2. They did warn us, for those of us who are on the Oculus Quest 1, using your Oculus accounts, that you have until 2023, and so they're going to force everybody to actually use the Oculus Quest and use a Facebook account. But if you switch from the Oculus Quest 1 and you go buy an Oculus Quest 2, they're going to immediately force you to use a Facebook account regardless. So you're not going to be waiting until 2023. For me, that's not really a big issue. I already use Facebook, but and I have my own opinions on that I can get into in a separate video. But for right now, that's what you need to know. You do need to use a Facebook account on the Oculus Quest 2. The next thing I want to talk about that people ask about is the battery life. Is the battery life better on the Oculus Quest 2? And unfortunately, it's not. It's actually possibly a little bit less, but you get 2 hours of battery life on the headset, so it's basically the same or possibly a little bit less. What you do get, though, is the improved battery life in the controllers. The controllers are apparently much longer when it comes to using the battery and stuff, so that's good news. The controls are going to last us much much longer. There's not exact hours, but I heard somewhere in about like 60 to 80 hour mark apparently. Don't quote me on that though, but that's what we're hearing about early reports, that it's substantially longer. So good news there with a single battery that you can use in the controller, that it's going to be that much longer. So that's exciting news there. The next thing to talk about here that a lot of people ask me about is the storage question. Which one should they buy, the 256 or the 64 gigabyte? Now, for me, as a VR YouTuber who does a lot of videos and stuff and wants to have these games installed, I went for the 256 immediately. If you have a lot of games already and you think you're going to buy a lot of games, I would definitely steer you in the 256 gigabyte model. But if you're not going to, have 25 plus games installed at the same time like I do at all times and don't want to keep removing and uninstalling them, then you can get away with the 64 gigabyte without most issues. So it just depends on how many games you plan on buying and how many games you want to have without having to uninstall and reinstall. So it's a hard question to answer, but for me, 256 all the way, considering that I do YouTube videos all the time on it. The next question a lot of people ask me about is, can you play your own movies on here? So you can play your own movies. There's the big screen app that you can actually go into that is a really popular app that you can actually play your own videos from directly from the Oculus Quest 2 if you save them locally on the Oculus Quest 2. Another reason why you may want the 256 if you want to put your own movie files on there. You can also stream them from Plex. If Plex is something that you guys use on your network, you can stream Plex movies right on there as well. So easy that you can do. So there's definitely no issues playing your own movies on the Oculus Quest 2 in a theater-like environment. So that should be a really fun time for you guys to do. Next question I get a lot is, can you use extended batteries on this? Yes, you can get your own battery pack if you decide not to get that 129 model that I told you about with the strap with the built-in battery. You can get any external battery and kind of strap it on there yourself without any issues. So that is something you can do if you want to do that. And the last question we're going to get into, the big one that everyone always asks about, is it worth upgrading from the Oculus Quest 1 from the Oculus Quest 2? Now, based on everything we just talked about here, I say that the Quest 2 is a major upgrade in almost every way. And it's definitely, if you're a VR enthusiast and a VR gamer who plays a lot of time into the VR ecosystem, the Oculus Quest 2 is definitely a worthwhile upgrade. We're talking about, better resolution, better graphics. One day you're going to have Quest 2 only games. But just the better resolution, the better graphics already, the better optics in there is going to be a worthwhile upgrade for most people. The 90 hertz mode that's on here, it's going to be really cool when that actually starts happening to more and more games. But the XR2 chip, guys, is going to be a big deal. It's going to empower games to look better on there and, had that higher resolution, the higher textures and all that stuff that we were talking about before. And with the strap design, the Elite strap for $49 more, it's going to be more comfortable than the Quest 1. If you thought the Quest 1 wasn't comfortable like me and you had to do all these mods and stuff, well, for $49 or $350 altogether at the 64 gigabyte model, it's going to be a worthwhile upgrade, and it's going to be a more comfortable headset right out of the gate as long as you buy that $49 strap. So I think, in my personal opinion, with everything we talked about in today's video and how it's an improvement, I think the Quest 2 is definitely a recommendation. If you guys are a big fan of VR and you were a big fan of the Quest 1, it is definitely going to be a worthwhile upgrade. I got lucky enough that I was able to sell my original Quest 1 for $400, so I'm basically getting the 256 gigabyte model for literally like 50 bucks, so it was definitely an easy recommendation from me. Alright guys, so that was my Oculus Quest 2. All your questions were answered. If I, of course, missed any questions in that video that you guys need to have answered, leave those questions down below, and I'll definitely answer all your questions that you guys may have when it comes to upgrading from the Oculus Quest 1 to 2, or if you're just going to be joining us on this VR adventure on the Oculus Quest 2 as your starting point. answer any questions that you, or ask any questions that you want. I'll definitely answer them. I'm excited to get my Quest 2 on release date, which is what I have from the Oculus order right now. So I'm excited for when that I'm excited for when that day comes. It's getting closer and closer, guys. So until next time, thanks for watching.
Tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie, gaming tech. Eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a recce is the gaming tech, gaming techie is the gaming tech, gaming techie.